All right, so now we need to go through, this is day 2 of our GUI. We need to go through here and clean up our GUI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, I figured this out yesterday after you guys left. I want to go ahead and make, see how these boxes are like, see how all 4of these boxes up here are like different widths? Not cool. Are you with me? Not good. We need to get those all to be the same width. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go to this label, and I say I want you to be 30%. Okay? And then this team here, I'm going to go set it to white. And then I'm going to make its width 30%. And that's going to, see how it starts to push it over there? Okay? And then let's go to label here, and I'll go to text color. You want to have a, if you have dark backgrounds, you got to have light fonts. And then here you want to go 30%. And then down here, here's your authorization code. You want to go make all your text white so they can see them. And then here your width can be 30% also. And watch this one, it'll double up. See that? And now all these boxes are really, I can throw passcode, I can make it fill parent. Okay? And all these are pretty good. So now we're looking pretty good here. See how those edges are lined up? And that's pretty solid. I like that. And now let's go ahead and just add, oh, we got to go to our enabled button and make it white. And down here, we should have a couple of label counts, and then they should go to white. There you go. Okay. And now we just need to upload our buttons. So I just go to the image upload, upload a file, choose a file, and that's my reset button. And that one is, make sure you got a PNG. That's the PNG. I hit open. Okay, and there is the reset button. Very good, very nice. And now you go to the next one, which is my voice button. You upload a file, choose a file, and there's my voice. Looking good. And everything's black and red and gray, and that's cool. My buy button, I think this looks like a shopping cart. There it is. And you guys can download these from the internet. Let's have fun doing that. And this is my submit button. Choose a file, there's submit. And you hit OK, and bam. So now we have a really attractive looking font. The only thing I don't like here is, let's go ahead and change the screen title. Okay, so I go to screen 1, and you guys will see where it says screen 1 down here in the title. And we'll call this Fairfield Tribe Tickets. Or should we call it Tribe Pride? Tribe Pride Tickets. How about that? And then you hit enter, and then that should go up into your screen. And there it is. So now we got a cool title on our okay. And now we're ready to do some coding. Get some code in this bad boy. All right, so really every one of these boxes you see, you need a variable for. Okay, just think about variables as like you want to remember something. Like when you're playing Pac-Man, do you want to remember the score? Yeah, so you need a variable for the score. When you're playing Pac-Man, do you want to remember how many lives Pac-Man has left? Okay, then you need a variable for how many lives. So anytime you want to remember something, you want a variable. So do I want to remember their name? Yeah, so I need a name, a first name variable. Do I want to remember the team name? Yeah, I want to have a team variable. Staff name, do I want to remember who gave them it? Yeah, have a staff name variable. Do I want to remember the authentication code? Yes. Do I want to remember how many tickets they were given? Yes. Do I want to remember their total number of tickets? Yes, you need to make variables for all that. All right. So you guys ready to learn how to do some variables? Pretty simple. Show you how to do it. Have some fun. Good? Ready? All right, so I'm getting ready to go to the blocks window. Where do you think I get the variables from? The variables, okay? So I go over here to variables, and there's something called initialize global variable. And you'll see a name in there. You want to click on that name, and we're going to give it our own personalized name. Okay? So I'm just going to have student name. Now, my personal preference, I don't like to use, like some people like this. They like to do underscore name. Do you guys like that? If you like that, you can do that. I don't care. I'm a Java programmer, so we learn how to just do no spaces with a capital N in there. So I can read the name, I can read it, and I can see it because of the capital N, and I don't really need spaces. Now, you have to think about this. Is the name going to be math? Is it going to be zeros? Or is the name going to be text? That's a good question. Because if we're scanning in their if we're scanning in their 6-digit lunch code, that would be numbers, right? Okay. So I think it's going to be text. And once again, we'd have to really analyze this program. And now you can just duplicate this, and it'll come out as student name 2. And what's next? I need a team name, right? Okay. And what's next? I'm just going right down my app. I have student name, team name. What's next? Staff name, is that right? Staff name. And what's next? Authentication code. So let's copy this. We would need a password. And now I'm going to go ahead and set my password as 1234. Because we're the developer, we know the password. Are you with me? The teacher has to know that the password is 1234 to get in. But when you guys are developing, you guys are the ones who controls the password. So they have to type 1234 to get in. Are you with me on that? Okay. What's next? Let's go another variable here. I don't want to do that. Okay, and then, yeah, I can do that. Okay, the next one is the number of tickets. Num ticks. But this is not going to be a quote. This is going to be a number, so I have to assign it to 0. You're going to start with 0 tickets. You with me on that? And then I'm going to duplicate this, and then if you're giving out a number of tickets, let's say they give you 5 tickets, and you're going to add those tickets to what? If you get 5, you add 5 onto what? Your... Do the math. What are you adding it to? Total ticks. Are you guys with me on this? When you get 5, you add 5 on to the total number of tickets you have. Okay? So if I go back to my designer mode, I have the student's team name, staff, I have the authentication code. Here's how many tickets you're going to assign them. That's good. Go into your number of tickets. And then we would add the total number of tickets. Oh, down here, you know what we forgot? We forgot total number of tickets. Okay, so we need to go back and create a label here. And I need a label in here somewhere so that we can display how many tickets they just received. So I'm going to rename this LBL num ticks And then here, this is the tickets you just received. And I'm going to color that in white. Okay, and let's go ahead and center these. I don't like that being jammed over to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Align Center. And there you go. So this should show how many tickets you just received, and then this should show your total. So if you just received 5 and now you have 25, you should see 5 and 25. Are you guys with me on this? Okay. Let's go into blocks. All right, so now I'm ready to start going ahead and scanning in the QR code. Uh-oh, I forgot here. What do we not have? We want to have a good GUI, so we want to do some media sounds. When you click a button, I want to play a sound. So I'm going to drag a sound into the GUI. I always love text-to-speech, so I'll put text-to-speech in. We need a speech recognizer, is that correct? And what else do we need? We need a QR code reader. Where's that at? Sensor. Barcode reader. There it is. We need a barcode reader. So we're going to use that barcode reader. And what else do we need? I'm thinking. Okay. I think we need a database too. So I'm going to put in this tiny web database, and I'm going to try to figure out how that works. Oh, I got a file there. I don't want a file. I want a tiny web database. The database would store all our information about everyone's tickets. Are you with me on that? So that's a little deep, but I'll try to figure that out and pass that on to you guys. Okay, so now I'm ready to go in the blocks. So I go to my barcode reader. Or no, I don't go to my barcode reader. What starts the barcode reader? The BTN student ID. When they click on BTN student ID, okay. And I think I remembered this from last time. I think we need 2 barcode readers. We need 2 barcode readers because we want one for staff and one for teacher. They'll never know, but we're going to put one in there. So let's go to sensors. We need another barcode reader. And now that I have 2 in here, I need to start naming them. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to name this Barcode Scanner, rename it. This is for student ID. And now I have a barcode scanner for rename staff ID. Okay. And now I'm ready to put those blocks in. So when they hit the button for the student ID, we're going to call our barcode scanner, barcode student, to do what? Call do a scan. Right? You scan in. And then if you guys looked at this, you guys remember seeing this? Remember like when you take a picture, you called take a picture, what did you have to do after you took the picture? Remember we had the after take the picture? Remember that? So this is really the same thing. You have to scan it in, and then after you scan it in. After you scan it in, what am I going to do? Okay. After I scan it in, I'm going to start calling my variable. Remember the variable name? And I want to set the variable name. What variable am I setting? I'm setting the student name, okay, to be the result of this scan. So they're going to scan in that student name there. Or, you know what, it could be, I should have said like student ID. It could have been, I don't know, we could have scanned in your 6-digit lunch number. Are you guys with me on that? So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. it might be, we might have to change that for better understanding to student ID. Okay? Now, once I get this variable name, I want to show it. Where do I want to show it at? I want to show it in that text box. Do you guys remember having that text box there? So I want to go to this text box and say set the text. There it is. Okay. Set the text to the, and if I want, I could just go ahead and get the variable name right now. Get. This is how you get variables, get the student name. Okay. So I just wrote an event handler to scan in the student's name, scan it in, and then put it in the text box. And we record it in a variable, so now we have it in memory. So when I go to record that in my database, or if we're going to go and record that on a website, we have that in the variable name. All we have to do is send that variable name off to the website, and we know who received tickets and how many tickets they have. Okay? So what's next on our list? Let's just use our designer as a little checklist. Remember that? What's next? What's the next box down? What's this right here? Let's go get the team name. Are you guys with me on this? So now they go and select team name. Okay, so I go to team name. So what is team name? It's a spinner. So you're going to make a selection. After you select, we're going to go ahead and set your variable. What variable am I going to set here? Let's go to the selection box. What variable do I set? You guys need coffee today. What variable am I setting? Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, the team name. So I go ahead and select team name. What am I setting it to? I'm setting it to this selection of whatever they selected in the spinner. Did they select Andromeda? Did they select Chameleon? Did they select Columba? What are you guys in right now? What team do I have in here right now? Aquarius. Did they select Aquarius? Are you with me? What? And Orion? Okay. So that's how I select something from a spinner. Was that hard to do? Is any of this hard? Is this kind of overwhelming at all, or what? I just go and if you want something from the spinner, you go over here to the left-hand side and you click on spinner and you just kind of see what you can do. Okay? You guys with me on that? Okay. So the spinner's done. What's next? We have to barcode in the staff name. Isn't that a lot like barcoding in the student name? Okay, so I'm going to go back to blocks. And really, I'm just going to jump up here and copy and paste this. And I'm going to duplicate this one because these are really a lot alike. Are you guys with me on this? I have something, I have my poster over there. What's my poster over there called? Work smarter, not harder. Are you guys with me on that? Work efficiently. Okay. So this is not going to be student ID. This is going to be the I don't think we named this button. You guys see where it says button 1? I don't think we named the buttons. Let's go back to designer. What is this? Oh, button 1. Guess what? Never got named. BTN staff ID. Okay. Go back to my blocks. I want to click on BTN staff ID. I want the barcode for the staff ID to be scanned. I want barcode scanner for the staff ID to after scanning. I want the result to go into not student name but staff name. And I want the text box for the staff name to get set to the global staff name. Done. See how I can copy and paste that, and then I just do a couple clicks and modify it to be what I want. Don't leave it. Don't duplicate it and leave it. You got to duplicate it. Think about what you're doing. I'm changing it all to staff ID. Okay. Now, if you like these to be vertical like I do, then you can just stack these and arrange these vertically. Okay, let's go look at the next checklist. Do you guys see how I use this app as a checklist? Thumbs up. Who sees how I use this as a checklist right here? Okay. So we're back. What's next? We need to read in a password, right? If, right? If they enter the correct password. Okay? So now, this is kind of cool here. Do you guys see how we have add tickets here? What we can do is I can click on this, and I can make this not visible. Are you with me? And we can say that's not visible until they do what? They don't even get to select how many tickets you get until they do what? Put in the right password. Are you guys with me on this? Okay. They don't get to select tickets until they put in the correct password. Who understands that? So that's what's cool about this. You can make things visible and invisible. Because if they're not visible, you can't select tickets. Okay, pretty cool. So let me show you how to do this in code also. There's something called screen initialize. There it is. And what this happens is, you guys know when you like open up an app and then it just like appears on your screen? That's the initialize stage. So when you start the app, okay, I could put all these variables inside of here if I wanted to. But when we start the app, then I'm going to say, okay, what was that? Spin num tickets. Visible is set to false. And here's where you have to go to logic, and you have to go to false. Okay? So when you guys see how I did that? I went to screen 1. When screen 1 loads, I'm going to say, okay, the number of tickets to be selected it's not visible. It's not there. Well, it is there. It's just not visible. Okay? Thumbs up. You understand how I just did that? You see how this is all about problem decomposition? You think about one little thing at a time. How do you play chess? How do you play chess? Anyone ever played chess before? How do you play checkers? Anyone ever played checkers before? Anyone ever played tic-tac-toe before? Do you really think about the entire tic-tac-toe game before you start playing the game? Do you think about all 5 moves you're going to make before the game starts? Or do you just think about one little move at a time? Don't you think about one little move at a time? Oh, they went to the top left corner. Okay, I'm going to go here. Right? And that's kind of how programming is. You don't think about the whole chess game. You don't think about the whole checkers game. You don't think about the whole tic-tac-toe game. You think about one little move at a time. Are these one little moves that hard? No. That's why, anybody can program. If you have a brain that can do problem decomposition and just break the problem down into small parts, and I'm showing you how to do that right here, right? I'm going to my designer, and I'm working on one little box at a time. That's problem decomposition. Okay? Who understands problem decomposition? Okay. If you get good at problem decomposition, you're going to be an unbelievable coder. Doesn't matter what language you're learning. Okay. So now I'm going to do an if statement. I'm going to go get some control. So I think we need passcode got focus. When we get focus on that, when you put your mouse in there, then I'm going to say if, okay, now we have a variable called password, right? Okay, so if, and now we have to do some equaling, see if it's equal here, right? We have to see if they enter in the right password. So if the variables if the password is equal to, do you guys remember what we set the password to? Yeah, so I'm going to go get a text. Actually, I think we can get the text here of what they entered into password code box. Yeah, there we go. So if the text of what they entered into the box, are you with me, is equal to our password, which is right now 1234, right? Then what do you want to happen? What did I make invisible? The spinner, right? So now if they do have the right password, we got to make that visible again so they can select tickets. Are you with me? So we got to go to spinner number of tickets, set visible equal to, anyone want to guess what the rest of that's going to be? True. Very good. You're going to say, okay, I want to turn that back on, right? And then we can go ahead and start getting in the spinner. Okay, where's the spinner at? Spinner, spinner, spinner. There it is, spinner. So I want to select how many number of tickets they get. So I have to go up and get a variable again. And I need to go ahead and set the number of tickets to the selection. Get how many they selected. Okay, and now I'm going to display that. Remember we had a label down at the bottom? Where's that label at? We had a label down here called LBL num ticks. You with me? So I'm going to set the LBL num ticks text to this global variable. So I'll go back up and get my variable. What variable is it? The number of tickets. And I'm going to set that in there. Okay? And mathematically, if I give you 5 tickets, what do we need to do with those 5 tickets mathematically? I gave you 5 tickets. What do you need to do with those mathematically? Add those to what? Yes. Right, which is called the total of tickets, right? So just do this in your head, right? Let's say you have 10 tickets right now, right? That's your total number of tickets is 10. I give you 5 more. How many do you have? 15. So I take the number you're getting, which is num tickets, right? And add the number of tickets to your total. Okay, so let's do some math here. Do you guys see, what box do you think you're going to click on if you want to do math? The math box, right? So let's go do math. You see where it says add Okay, so what I'm going to do is I need to set my variable first. What variable am I setting? My total tickets variable. Set it to do some math. What math is that going to be? It's going to be some addition. And I'm going to get, this is kind of weird, once you do this one time you'll get it. You want to get the total number of tickets and add on to it how many. Go get a variable again. You're going to add in the number of tickets you just received. Okay? So the total is equal to the total plus 5. So what you're saying there is change my total to be the total plus the number you just received. Does that make sense? Okay. And now if I have a total, I want to display it. So where am I going to display that at? Let's go down to my LBL. Thought we had an LBL total. Yep, LBL count total.text. Set the LBL total count total.text to get the variable. And actually I can just copy that one. So now I set that into my label. And now my label should display all of my, it should display how many you just received, 5. And then it should say, now I have 15. It should show me 5 and 15. Cool? Okay, we have just a few short minutes left. Let's go back to my designer. And let's get this button to work. So if they click on the BTN counter, it should add 1 to our number of tickets. Okay? Okay, so let's go click on the button. Button counter. When you click on the button counter, I'm going to set, actually you can just duplicate this guy. Don't need this block. I'm going to do math again, so actually I could do this one. And this is not right. So that guy goes over here. I want to take the number of tickets and add 1 to it. So I'm going to go back to my math box and grab a number. And I'm going to change that number to 1 ticket. Okay? And then I can really just go up here, duplicate this label where I'm displaying the number of tickets. And actually I can just grab all this also, you know. Because when I add on to tickets, I'm also adding on to the total. And then I can set my total. So you should see your total change also. So I can just reuse really that block of code, but here instead of we're adding 1 instead of adding the selection. Okay, so now that's done. And tomorrow, I'll save this for tomorrow's class. What do we have to do? We have to do enabled. That we have to get that checkbox to work. That's pretty easy. All that does is shut this button down so you can't add numbers on. Okay, and then we need to get these 4 buttons to work and we're finished with this app. So what's tomorrow? Thursday? So it's Thursday we'll finish the coding and then Friday it'll just be like a makeup day. And then this app will be finished with on Friday. On Friday I'm going to get grades on this app, and I need to get grades on your Digital Doodle app. So please try to have Digital Doodle and this app finished by Friday. Okay? Be ready to, this is going to be new for you guys, okay?